The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're mine. They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. You say Hershey. That's what it sounded like. Good, you know who I am. And you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? I'm just watching this right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, brother.
This week, we're going to be talking about an investigation that old boy and his group in California just did at Gobar Ranch. And so, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to old boy and let him fill us in on what happened.
Thank you, guys. I hope you're having a good night. Misfits, sugar ladies, and monster lovers. It's old boy. Yeah, we went to Gobar Ranch. This time we actually got a lot of footage because the last time we went, the guy who did camera work erased everything, so we lost it all. And and he's no longer the cameraman anymore. That was, I think it was about 9-10 months ago. So we got a lot of evidence, and I'm going to talk about that. So if you know what Gobar Ranch was, we've done it numerous times. There's a lot of evidence we get on there. Mr. Gobar was killed. The guy he ended up taking over the place was killed too. His head got chopped off. It got stuck. Something got stuck in the blades of his those farmer blade thing, those big trailer tractors, and he tried to get it out, and it cut his head off. A boy died there at the house, and they put him in the cellar because back then they didn't have hospitals, and supposedly it caved in on him. And then supposedly there's people who were raped and murdered in the house, satanic rituals done all over the place around that area. You know how that goes. So we get there. It's getting it's almost dark. So it was around 8:30. Get there. I was going to go back into the cellar, but as soon as I got there, I felt something. I'm like, okay, we'll look around. Got inside, right where the hallway is when you go in the house. There was like a bathroom with a tub and a sink, but the sink's gone. It's just a tub now, and we got a lot of activity right off the bat. Took pictures. It was always blurry. And then I would be standing there, it'd be blurry, and then I get a regular picture. And I have a brand new iPhone 15, so I have a really good camera. So I started doing some of the investigations in there. So I pulled out the spirit box and then my little speaker, and then we even got the meter out. And they started recording, and he just bought a little recorder too. So he got a lot of stuff he sent me too on top of some of the stuff it said. It called out my camera guy who didn't show up because he was busy that day. It called him out. It called me out. It called my wife out. It said stuff about JC. It was just Mr. Gobar talked to me. That was something that hasn't happened in a long time. Usually it's his chair, but he actually talked to me. Here's something that was very weird about this situation and when we were doing the investigation. And it's only happened here at my house. While we're doing the investigation, and I'm going to send this footage over to James because I have it. The only thing is I recorded on my phone, so it's hard to send. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out how to send it up in pieces. And I think they got it anyway. So my wife sent the evidence over to him. He'll be looking at it. The thing started singing to me in the spirit box. It actually sang 2 different times. Very interesting. It's only happened one other time to me. About 2 years ago at my house, I did it. And it started singing to me. And it wanted to argue with me and tried to mock me, and I just laughed at it. And we kept going back and forth, and it said, don't go in the cellar. Something was going there. So I went over by the cellar. And before that, on the other side, I didn't go in the cellar because I don't want to get bit by snakes. It was hot that day. It's in the middle of the desert, and it's a pit. So, there's something in there, snake. And there's something else in there. I don't care about ghosts, but snakes, I'm not immortal. If they bite me, it's not going to be good. Rattlesnakes are no joke. Or Mojave greens. So it was very hot, and I took a picture, and I took another picture, and this spider-like demon kind of like goblin thing got taken. I sent the picture out. It was very weird, and there was something in that. It was telling me there was something in there, and I never seen that before in there. Something must be going on there because there was a lot more activity than I've ever seen. This is like the second most activity I've ever seen at this place. A lot of people must be going to this place, or something's going on, because this was different than I've ever dealt with here, other than one other time. And that wasn't really in that house. It was outside the property. And I got a little bit inside the cellar, but there was so much activity this time, and it was really like a gold mine. It was really good. We were there for like a little over an hour, and that was it. That's all we needed. I didn't even need to go in the cellar. I just got so much activity in the house. I did a couple pictures outside the house. I didn't go to the other house too. I want to go to the other house, but he's all, oh, there's no. I'm gonna go there one day. That's the opposite house. There's like it was like a big property. It was like 50 acres or something like that, and there's different houses. So I want to go to the other house and see what's that one is. I haven't done it since like 4 or 5 years ago. I would love to do it again. I'm gonna go to that house one day. But it was a very good investigation. Usually, when we went the last time, there was stuff that happened, but it was just not really good. It was cold, really windy that day. It was like in October of last year, so it was starting to get cold. It was like overcast. It was really windy. And people have destroyed that house. It used to be like, I haven't been there for like 2 or 3 years, and they knocked the wall out. They destroyed everything like always. I used to go in there. It was like a regular house. Like you could see everything, just the windows were knocked out and stuff like that. But yeah, they knocked the wall out. They destroyed the place. People go there either living, doing drugs. People know about the place. It's a very known area. And probably people have gone there, and they've writing all kinds of graffiti everywhere, and there's just stuff going on there. That being said, I have a lot of footage we're going to send over. We sent some of it already, and you guys are going to enjoy it. This was an action. I haven't done an investigation for a while because it's been very cold or very windy. I've only done like one in the last 6 months. And that was somebody's house, and I'm still dealing with that to a point. Today, just to talk about that also, the guy hit me up and said he left. It hasn't really been bothering him. It still does once, but doesn't do what it was doing, like trying to rape him like it did last year. He said he came home and all his stuff was on the ground. And I said, well, did somebody come to your house? He doesn't know, because he does have a landlord in there. And I said, maybe he came in and knocked something over. But he said he doesn't know. So it looks like something threw all his stuff on the ground. I'm gonna have to check this out. This is gonna be another thing I'm gonna be dealing with. But that was something that just came up today. It's been very clear. It's been off and on with him. Like he still has the thing there. It just doesn't bother him anymore. It's kind of fading away. But like 3 months ago, I had to deal with it again because it was trying to rape him. It was trying to kill him. It was stabbing him and scratching him. So I was dealing with it. I've been dealing with it, and I've got it almost out of the way. There was a lady that was friends with him. I do not want to bring her name up. She tried to lie about being haunted. Sent us pictures, coming to find out those pictures were online. We looked them up. Tried to help her out anyway, so she would, and she was very, very distraught lady. I think she's in her late 70s. He didn't tell me some of the stuff she said, and I come to find out she was lying and just wanted to be on TV. I'm not going to bring her name up. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to tell you this right now. if you're trying to get famous from doing that kind of shit, like you have haunted stuff and you really have something attacking you, and we're gonna help you. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you're gonna lie, I'm done. I haven't talked to the lady in months. But she kept harassing him, and to the point where he had to block her. She was having people call him to try to see what he did and how I helped her. Because I sent her in Pennsylvania, I did what I could for her, and then I had people help her. She didn't want to listen. I think if she did have a spirit, she wanted it there. Because everything we told her to do, she'd argue and fight with us, and she argued and fight with 3 other teams and went there. 2 teams told her she just needs to go get help, and she has PTSD from something else, and I just think she's an older person and needs to maybe seek some help, mental help for herself, because I think she has a lot of stuff that's happened to her in her life. Other than that, I'll leave it at that alone. Don't hate the lady or nothing, just saying that. And I know she bothered my colleague to the point where he quit talking to her. Even the group that he sent to her, they quit talking to her. That stuff, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Please don't lie to try to get on TV. You guys see this shit on TV and you think you're going to get on there and you're going to become famous. And that's another issue. Not paranormal, the people who claim they're having hauntings. Sometimes a lot of times people are lying about it. This is a thing we haven't really talked about. We've talked about people faking evidence and faking they see this and dolls and shit. But people who actually tell us they're haunted and come to find out they're lying. Or they're misinformed. Or they just want to be on TV. And that's another issue that we really haven't really brought up. So I wanted to just kind of throw that out there. Other than that, no one was attacked on the investigations. It was just me and JC and my wife. My brother Phil didn't show up. He was doing something, and I understand that. He told me. So, and it works better when you have 3 or 4 people. I have noticed that. And even if I have 4 or 5 people, I will split them up and won't have them all. With 3 people, you can have, it's fine. I like to split them. If it's over 4 people, I split the teams up to 2 or 3 teams. And you don't have all that laughing and listening and this thing, and said you have 5 or 6 people trying to talk. That shit doesn't work when you have more than 5 or 6 people on an investigation. It's just a pain in the ass. Everybody wants to fight and argue and try to think there's some investigator, try to get the thing to talk, or you have somebody who thinks they're going to be on TV, they're doing anything differently. Instead of doing the camera work, they're trying to talk to the ghost and looking all over the place and fucking looks stupid, doesn't know what he's doing. Just people like that. That's the kind of stuff we deal with. And we don't have that no more. We don't have people like that. And I'm talking about all together. There's back east, a lot of teams have this issue. And it works better when you have a lot of people talking and being loud and making noises either. And you can get a lot more stuff done. And I know James does, especially with the camera work. James can control what's going on. Now he can edit it a lot better than we could before in the past. Things are different now. He's got faster internet. So, when you have faster internet instead of dial-up, I was trying to help him because like I said, it takes him a long time, but now he's, he lives in Virginia in the mountains, and they're taking a while to get certain internet. And he finally got better internet. Here in California, shit, I'm running off of 300, 500 gigs a minute or whatever it is, and that's just normal. Like the high speed's like a TIG now, a kilobyte now, and that's normal stuff around here. Like we got some of the fastest internet in the country, but like James had this internet, he'd be getting done. We would be doing the show, and like that day it would take him 2 minutes to do it. He would be done in quick. That's what the problem is. People got to realize he got better internet, but it's still slower than usual.
I don't even have 1 gig, bro. Not even a gig. And I got the fastest internet that I can get from my internet provider that's available to me. I can't get cable internet at all. They don't even offer it for my area. I got the fastest I can get without having like a dedicated line. But the only way I can get a dedicated line is if it's a business. I can't do it at a residence. So I got the fastest I can do at a residence. And it's freaking pathetic, bro. Like the show is usually when we get done recording it and I get done editing it and all that, it's around 4 to 5 gig. And then I have to run it through another studio program to shrink it down to get it around a gig or anywhere from 700 to 900 meg. And even that takes me multiple hours to upload to YouTube. Just not even a gig. It takes multiple hours to upload. And I upload it there, I upload it to Spotify, I do all the stuff. But it takes so long. And if I didn't do that extra step of running it through another software to shrink the size of it, then it would literally be like 5 gig. It would be an all-day thing. And I could start around noon and I wouldn't finish up until like midnight or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning with just uploading it once, just to YouTube. And then I still have to do that again to Spotify. So, I mean, like some of these shows we do on We're Screwed where we're doing like 3 hours. I mean, the size of the 3-hour show is like 5 gig. And shit, I can't do 5 gig. 5 gig take all day to try to upload to YouTube or something. So what I have to do is have to put it into an editing software to edit the show. And then once I'm done and I save it, then I have to re-put it into another software and it shrinks it down. But I have to like actually watch it because I use OBS to do it because the file size is a lot smaller, but it still keeps quality. But then I have to watch the whole damn thing again. So like on some of these shows like We're Screwed where we're doing like 3 hours or something, like literally it's downloading the show, which takes forever, and then editing the show, which means I got to watch the whole 3-hour show to edit it, and then saving it, which takes half hour to an hour to save, and then have to load it into the new software, and then rewatch it again another 3 hours to re-record it, and then I have to go through and check it and make sure it's all right so that I can upload it. And then I have to upload it, which even if it's a gig or a little bit less, it's taken 3 or 4 hours at least per place I upload it. So it's 3 or 4 hours to upload it to YouTube and then 3 or 4 hours to upload it to Spotify. I convert it over to an MP3 format to go onto the radio. So that's fairly quick. That's a couple-minute process. That doesn't take long at all because I have a fast computer. I just don't have fast internet. That's the problem. Yeah, it's a freaking nightmare, man, because there's really nothing I can do. The only option I have is to do a satellite internet if I don't use the internet provider here. And the problem with satellite internet is up here on the mountain, we get a lot of storms. So in the wintertime, we get heavy snow and you have to go out every half hour or so and sweep snow off the satellite in order to have any kind of signal. And during the summer, we get a lot of thunderstorms and high winds and stuff. And when that happens in the summer, it just completely takes out the internet. I used to have DirecTV, and I would rarely get to actually watch it because the storms would come through and just completely take out the satellite, and you just couldn't even utilize it, And I had a bunch of channels for DirecTV. I was paying a hell of a lot of money for DirecTV every month and not even really getting to use it. So I don't want to do a satellite internet because to me that's just a bad option because I'm not going to have reliable service. Whereas this way I have reliable service. I just wish I could get cable internet. And it's ridiculous because it runs up to my road and stops. And then it runs past me down on the other side back down to the main road. But there's a little area in between up on the top of the thing where you just don't have no internet. I mean, we have the normal internet that comes through on the phone lines, that runs on those lines. So I can get decent internet. It's not dial-up. It's better than that, but it's not cable. So that makes it a pain in the butt when you're trying to do multiple shows a week and upload, things that are hours and hours long. It's definitely a struggle. So anyway, that's a long explanation for a short thing, but that's why my internet sucks. So go ahead, old boy.
Well, suggestion what I think you should do is go into town and just use the Wi-Fi, and you're probably going to get at least 50 gigs, and you could probably do it that way. Just use a hotspot on your phone. I mean, that's probably that. You can use your laptop and you might be able to do it that way. Like you go to Starbucks and you're probably going to get at least 50 to 100 gigs right off the bat. So maybe head to Starbucks one day and sit in the Starbucks and do the show. Or I'll just send you it then, and I'll send you there and you might get it done real quick.
That would mean that I'd had to go to Starbucks, though, man. I would rather die than go to Starbucks, man. Fuck Starbucks. I can't stand them assholes. The troops, when they were over in Iraq, wanted them to send them coffee. Like, not for free. The military wanted to buy large shipments of coffee from Starbucks to give the troops. And Starbucks told them no. And the reason they told them no wasn't because of a logistical problem, not because they didn't have the coffee to send, not because they didn't have it to sell, but because they didn't support the troops. And that was what they told the military, that we don't support you guys, so we're not going to sell to you. So as far as I'm concerned, fuck Starbucks. I'd rather have 1 megabyte upload speed and take 12 weeks to do one show than go in that shithole.
Well, you can always just go run around and get a hotspot and at least get 50. Yet that's what I was going to tell you. Maybe that's what you should do is like go around maybe to another place and see where the hotspot is, and you could probably get at least 50 gigs, and you could just to download real quick. Maybe go to a hospital or something. Not a hospital, or like find somewhere that has Wi-Fi. A library. You can always go to a library, get it done there. You usually have pretty good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we got a county library. It's about a half hour, 45 minutes away, something like that. That might be an option. I don't know what their internet's like though. I have no idea. What I need is a little nerd. I need me a tech geek. That's what I need. But the problem is where I live up here in the mountain, we don't have a whole lot of tech geeks. We got a bunch of rednecks, and I'm about as high tech as it gets. You know, for a redneck, I can do a lot of things, but I'm not a tech geek. So that's what I need. I need to find me one of them little coding guys, man. One of them little guys that does this for a living, and do that. That might be interesting. Say, I'll edit. You just upload the damn thing for me. But then I'd have to send it to them. So shit, that would take it forever to send it. Might as well just upload it, right?
Find somebody in Pennsylvania right next door. Buddy Andy. But like I was saying is, you know, and now you guys listen to why we have, you know, it takes James. Like me, it doesn't take me, dude. Nothing. I just send shit. Now, even with my phone's even faster. Before I was sending on my phone, it would take long. But now when I was doing it, the only reason we quit doing it and we're doing it this way is it was always split up. So it wouldn't make any sense, or and that wasn't my fault. Sometimes it wouldn't download right. So now I have faster internet, even faster now, and I have a better phone. I was running off of a 2000, the iPhone 11. Now I have the 15. That was a 4 or 5 year old phone. So I think it was like 2019 or 2020. So I mean, 4 years. Now the technology is even better. I have a phone, you know, a brand new iPhone 15. So it's just different. You could see it in the picturing. I got different cameras now. The XR was a good phone. I'll tell you that. That's probably the best iPhone I've ever had. I mean, I've only had 3. This one's good, but that had one of the best single cameras you can get. That's why I'm still going to use that motherfucker for investigations. So, and the other one, I had the iPhone, the big one, the 8 or 9, I think it was, and I didn't like it. And my wife has the 13. It's all right. But this one's cool. It's not too bad. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I probably should got the Pro. It's a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. It's a better phone than I had. Mine was just going out. The screen was going out. It was a refurbished phone. It didn't what it had to do. I could still use it again for investigations and camera work. This one's got a way better camera now. It has 2 different cameras on it. Used to that, there's some that has 3 or 4, and I have 2 on this one. These damn phones are so the accessories alone are like $60 for the cases. I get a lot of cheap cases though online and stuff, but if you have to buy it there, dude, it's expensive. They have magnet cases now because you can put it on your car and stick it to your car with this little magnet, and you can sit there and use it as, you know, regular phone and all that, and GPS and stuff. So I always plug it into my car. The one thing it's annoying is now I have to do C charging because they don't do the old the Apple phone. They do the C now because the batteries last longer. So, and I noticed that, and they're better because the iPhone batteries are. I don't like Android. I even have the new one that just came out for my work, and I don't like it. The Galaxy 23 or something. I don't know what the hell it is. 21. I've had like 6 Galaxy. I don't. They were all right phones at the time, but just they break all the time. I mean, the battery goes bad after a while. They're just your junk. Um, People like them though. But what I've realized is I have an app on a phone, Android, and the guy quit making the app, but I use the Indigo app. So we get to use this old ass Galaxy phone we have on there, and we keep doing it, but it makes the best sounds. It sounds like children. It's just a crazy app, and I love it. And I know James likes it. And it's a cool app. It makes it really spooky, especially when you're talking to them, and then when they sing to you like la la la, and that's what it did, and that's something. It's a rarity that doesn't happen. It wasn't like the one where it was playing music at my house. It was like playing music, and you hear what it's like fucking a kazoo or something in the background. It was like whatever they play. It was a weird sound, but this thing was singing to us. It was like la 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 la, and it was really weird, and it kept doing it. And if you're in the room, the meter. I've never seen it keep going red constantly like that for a long time, anywhere. And it was just going on and on and on, and it kept going, and it was talking crap, and I would say stuff back to it. It was moving the wire in the bathroom I was in. It was an old bathroom. It's all messed up, but it was just an abandoned house. It's just got a lot of damage now because people go in there and bust out. So it's hard to hear too because there's wind blowing through it. It used to not have it. The walls were there. They didn't knock them all out. One place they knocked the damn wall out. It's just people don't care. They do what they want. They go and kids go find out and destroy it. Sucks, but hope one day what I'm worried is that place somebody's gonna just knock it all down altogether or most of it. And that's probably what's gonna happen one day. Um, it's sad, but the other house, yeah, it used to be like almost full, and I went in there and God, it's all messed up and destroyed. People destroyed the house. That's where Gobar's chair is at. I want to go back there and talk to it. Not that a chair, but put the spirit box there. And I want to take the RAM pod. I forgot to take the damn RAM pod again. I'm gonna buy another one. I want another one too. Have 2 of them because we only have one. I'm using older equipment like a couple years ago. I bought a bunch of stuff from a friend, and I have a lot of stuff left over. We have 4K cameras and stuff, but you really with these, I'm gonna be honest, the phones are almost as good as cameras you have out there. I mean, you want to spend thousands of dollars, and we know people who do that, and they make their spirit box sound all crazy, and it's out of a radio. I want to get one of those just to get one. It's just crazy because it lights up everything, but they're expensive. They're like $600-700 to get made. Some people know how to do it, so I'll get it. I'll try to get my friend to do it. He knows how to do them, but they're like really big, and they make all kinds of glows and all kinds of different colors, and they're pretty cool. I don't mind doing what I do. Well, I don't need a lot of equipment. Some people think like they have to get all this top in line shit, and it is camera work. It does, and audio. Yes, I get it. To hear certain things you won't hear. Little video recorders and like hand recorders. That's what he went and bought a newer one. He got some stuff on it. That's the best way to get EVPs, and you hear stuff you wouldn't hear regular. Now, if I wanted to sit there and put a headset on, sit there for hours on end, get it like a computer, sit there and sit there for hours trying to, and we could do, that's what James does when we send the evidence. That's what he pretty much does. He goes through it, seeing what every little step there is in every episode, for like, we have an hour of footage. He's going to go through that. It's probably going to take him 2 or 3 hours to see what little stuff he can get from it. And we'll send him little clips too, but he's going to listen to this and then cut that evidence out so people can see it and make a show out of it. It wasn't a big show. We did about an hour worth. Probably get about 40 minutes of footage. That's it after editing, maybe 45. It was a really good investigation. It went smooth. My team knows what the fuck they're doing. JC's been doing it for years, about 15 years, I think it was, 17 years. My wife's been doing it for about 6 or 7, and I've been doing it about 11, 12 years now. I think it's about 11, um, off and on. But now I've been doing it full time for years. So, I mean, like at least 7, 8 years now. And I like it, but I had to take a break. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We got really tired of the community. Not everyone, but there's a lot of people who it's ruining it for us. We like going out there helping people, and we have no problem doing it. I'm just sick of the wannabes, the fakes, the people who want to be on TV. They really don't know what they're doing. I'm really getting tired of going and doing investigations people mess up, and that really irritated me when I had to go to somebody else's investigation to help it out and make it better, and it really didn't get anywhere. And it just, it was somebody who I don't have a problem with, but my personal opinion, they probably shouldn't be working with people. Maybe ghost hunting is a different thing. When you're going to places and investigation, that's a ghost hunt. I'm an investigator. I do ghost hunting, guys. Don't get me wrong. Oh, that was a ghost hunt when I was doing, but I'm more of an investigator. I go to people's houses and try to help them. If you're a ghost hunter, maybe you shouldn't be helping people if you don't have experience. Especially don't really know how to talk to people, and you got a bad name from this now. And it is a very bad situation sometimes when I have to help other people that messed up investigations that are just trying to get footage to put it on there to get views. I'm not saying that happens. I'm saying it happens all the time with a lot of people. There's a lot of people who I see, like one person that I was on a show, and they had this other person that we used to be friends with, me and James were, and she was all right, but I'm not going to say her name, but she lives in another state. I think James knows who it is. And when me and my wife went on and she saw us on the while she was talking, I'm going to tell you something crazy had happened. I didn't tell you guys this. When me and my wife went on, like, to watch my friend who does the show, we were on his show, but he had somebody we know who was a guest, and she's supposed to be an investigator, and she's sitting there with a glass of wine, like, and I'm just sitting there, and then she saw it was me and my wife. Everything went crazy. His whole screen messed up, and I've been on a show before, and so is James, and my wife watches the show. It messed up. So it would not let her talk. She got real stuttery because she found out who it was. And I'm just sitting there like, when did you become a big time investigator? I'm not going to say nothing, but I was sitting there like, she's sitting there like she's doing an interview with MTV, drinking wine. And then she saw real motherfuckers come on. And she's, I didn't know they were going to be on here. But there's another reason, and I'm not going to get it. It has nothing to do with paranormal. Unfortunately, me and my wife are good-looking people, and we have a lot of fans, and we have a lot of people who like us. And that's not just to do with the paranormal world. James knows this. They like us. We're kind of becoming a cult following with me and my wife because of our relationship. And we have people who like us in other ways, like relationship wise. This person was a little talking to us and stuff happened, and it was just funny because, dude, I don't know what happened. As soon as my wife went on there, it kept, like, you kept breaking up. They broke up. The whole show kept messing up. Like, they couldn't talk. It started scrambling. So whatever she did on my side, it didn't like her. I can't do psychic readings anymore with anybody, except Kimberly. For some reason, Kimberly can do it. It even bothers her. My wife, yes, but when me and my wife are on, the lady in Australia couldn't do anything with us. She had to get off. She said what it was just. Kimberly even said it was draining her. So that's why I kind of don't go on there anymore and doing anything with psychics, because I tend to strain them, dude, and my wife too. So I don't know what that's about. I know what it's about, but for some reason, Kim, it doesn't bother. It does to a point, but she can talk to us. But I know she had a tragedy. I don't. And I just want to say that, Kim, you were always a great person. You watch our show, and I'm very sorry about your son. I haven't said nothing about it, but it's been a couple years now, a year and a half. And I think he tragically passed. So I haven't really bothered her except here and there. I talked to her, and I understand some way she kind of got away from it because she was having the same issue. She was doing psychic work, but then she'd tell people it's not 100%. And if something didn't go right, oh yeah, you're people got to realize they tell you a certain thing, you either going to do it or not. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to listen to it, then you don't. She was always respectful for me and James. James is she did a show with us. She was a really nice lady, and she, for some reason, I can deal with. Other people, I can't. I just can't do it. And that's what happened. I went on the show, and so did my wife, and it started messing up the whole broadcast. It happened a couple months ago. I didn't tell you guys about it. I don't know if I told James about it. It was somebody we did a show like 4 or 5 months ago. We were on his show. He was cool. And somebody we knew was on there, and she didn't want to see us. And but whatever there did not want her talking, and it messed up the whole show. And I haven't seen him on there using her again. I see he's always on. He's a cool guy. I want to go back on his show, and I might have him on ours. Terry's a great guy. He's in Texas. I think Houston area, and James was on that show. We both were on there. I think he's on Yard House or something like that. He's a cool guy. Really enjoyed his evidence. Came out, always been a sweet guy. He barbecues a lot too, and he likes college football. So we were talking about that a little bit when we did the show. But I always liked his show, but for some reason it didn't want her on there after she saw us. So, and that was what was kind of funny because it seems like, with me, I attract negative things, but they don't attack me. They'll attack people around me. I've seen that. That's what's crazy. And that's why I'm like immune to it. Like if I go in to these places, oh God, there's this demon's going to get you. It doesn't bother me. Okay, cool. And negative doesn't bother me. But the problem is I got to realize it's not just about me. The people who are in my group, I have to be careful they don't get something. Like when we went to Gobar, like it doesn't even bother me there was something there. It just, the point is I have to realize I have people with me on my team and I can't have them get hurt. And that's very hard for me. That's why I like doing stuff with James, because he's got no fear. Except Starbucks. He's afraid to go in there and get a cup of coffee, but I get it. But that's a whole different thing. No, we do. I ain't gonna lie. You don't like the water. And that's not because the water, it's what's in the water. The ocean at night, in the middle of the ocean, I'm not jumping in there. I don't care who you are. And there's people who do this shit, and I don't understand how they can do it. You have a great white coming at you at 18, 19 feet. You're not going to win that. Especially you can't see in the pitch dark at night. You see that it's not being scared of the great white. It's not being able to do shit. You're done. Unless you're like a submarine or a boat. Even then, it's good. You got to be careful. But I'm not going to go swimming around in the ocean. And trust me, sharks are not as bad as people have portrayed them. They don't really like the bigger sharks won't attack you. It's the hammerheads and the tiger sharks you got to worry about. The 10-footers and 12-footers, they'll take a nip out of you. And if they do, it's not going to be good for you. If you don't have you don't get to the hospital quick, you're done. I don't care who you are, and there's stuff in that ocean we don't know. I just recently saw this thing. It looked like it was 90 feet long, and it looked like a sea serpent. The megalodons in the ocean, it's 70 to 60 feet long. If that thing gets you, you're done. I don't care who you are.
Did you see that new footage? They got new footage from an underwater submersible of a shark. It looks like what a megalodon looked like, and it is bigger. Like it makes the submersible look like this compared to the shark like this. I mean, it is insanely large. Star showed it. My wife, her name is Star. She showed me the footage yesterday or the day before. She goes, "Oh my God, you were right." She said, "You and Old Boy were right. You guys have been saying for years these things are still down there in the deep water somewhere." She said, "Look," and I saw the footage of it. And I don't know if it's public yet or if it's very popular yet. I think not that many people probably know about it yet. But I watched some new footage of some people that were in a submersible submarine, not like a military sub, but like a smaller sub, and they were filming out of the window, and a shark went by. Dude, I've never seen a shark that big in my life. And I'm one of those guys that watches Shark Week all the time. I love sharks. Right? They're fascinating. I won't get in the water with them because I've been in the water with sharks, and I ain't never doing that shit again. But I've never seen anything that size. I mean, it was like the size of. It was bigger than like a killer whale or bigger than a small whale. I mean, it was big as hell. And the only thing I can think of is that would match that would be Megalodon, because it didn't look like a whale shark or anything like that. The bigger sharks that are more rounded, this thing looked like what all the pictures of the Megalodons from the textbooks look like, and it was freaking amazing. So I didn't know if you had seen that or if it's even public yet. I don't know where she got it. She just found it and was like, "Look at this! This is new footage just come out." So I don't know. I just want to bring that up because when you mentioned Megalodon, because that was pretty amazing. But the reason I don't mess around with the water, I used to love the ocean. When I lived in Texas, we used to go down to Corpus Christi. When we lived in San Antonio, we go down damn near every weekend and go down and do some crabbing and fishing off the pier there, and get in the water and goof around. And one time we were down there at the beach, and I was in the water swimming with some rays. And it was pretty amazing because you could grab the rays by their fins and they would pull you around. It was really magical. And I was swimming with these things for about 15, 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, they just pissed off. They just bailed. And I was like, that was weird. What the hell did they leave so fast for? Well, maybe something's in here that I should leave from, right? Maybe something's in here that ain't too healthy, and maybe I ought to get the hell out of here. And I had been in the water by that point for probably an hour, hour and a half, so I was thirsty, and I had to piss anyway. So I said, well, the hell with this. They took off. I'm going to take off because just in case, because when you see animals bail like that, it's usually a pretty good indication that something scary is coming. So I got out the water and went and took a piss and got a Coca-Cola. And hell, I wasn't out the water 5 minutes and heard all this commotion and screaming coming from down where I was. And I ran down there to see what was going on. And right in the very spot where I was swimming with those rays, within like 5 or 10 feet from where I was actually in the water, a guy got his leg taken up to the knee by a sand shark. And sand sharks are not usually known as man-eaters. They're not a very large shark at all, really. Like, I'm bigger than a sand shark is in most cases. But for whatever reason, I don't know if he stepped on it or what. I never did find out what happened to trigger that attack. But he had went in the water right where I was swimming with those rays, and a shark took him to the knee, and it was just gone from the knee down on one leg. And it was awful. I hope he survived. I don't know whether he survived or not. I just saw that he was missing all of his leg except for from down below the knee was gone on one of his legs. And they had all the lifeguards were there, and there was ambulances that were on their way coming, and they were tying a tourniquet on. The lifeguard was trying to save him, and they took him away in an ambulance. I don't know whatever happened to the dude. I never really followed up. I was just a kid. I mean, I was at that time maybe 9, 10 years old, something like that. I wasn't that old. But so that's why ever since then I've never been in the ocean since that day, because I'm not trying to get bit by a shark. Because there ain't what can you do? You can't punch or kick underwater, man. You punch like a girl underwater. It's all soft and slow. You're not fighting a shark. What are you doing? You can watch Jason Statham do it. In the Meg, you can fight a shark, but I can't fight a shark. It doesn't work for me. And I don't want to stick around to try. So unless I'm on a boat with a gun, I'm not playing with no sharks, man.
I seen the footage. It was like a 65-foot shark. It was huge. There's another one. I don't know if you've seen. They're like in a boat, and all of a sudden this big old fin comes out, and it's huge, and it starts chasing them, and they start hauling ass through the ocean. They're all, hurry up, get out of here! And this was bigger than a killer whale. It was probably a megalodon, and this thing was coming after him. Like, you just see this big old fin come out. It was huge. It's like half the boat. I'm like, dude, these things are huge. I don't know if there's another one where I know where we're talking about. We could talk about anything on staring because we could throw it in there, just so people. What happened? I thought you guys were talking about the investigate and psychic stuff. No, we can talk about anything because it has to do with paranormal. Did you see the new video with disposal of Nessie jumping out of the ocean? It wasn't at Scotland Lake. It was supposed to be in the ocean as a plesiosaur, and it jumps up in the air and flips in the air, and it goes into the ocean. I sent it to you, I think. I've been seeing a lot of that.
Remember, I did that episode of Paranormal News, and I think did an episode of Staring as well, talking about that they had been spotted out in the ocean by Scotland there, and that they discovered when they were looking at it that there's a series of underwater tunnels, like tunnels that are filled with water that lead a whole series of different locks all the way out to the ocean, and it tracks back all the way to Loch Ness, where Nessie's normally seen, but there have had a lot of sightings of them in the ocean, and not just one, multiple sightings of multiple creatures in the ocean that match the description of Nessie. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. What my theory is that Loch Ness and probably a lot of those other locks on that way through are a spawning ground for these things. That they travel from the ocean where they live most of the time. They travel in through those underwater tunnels to get to Loch Ness in order to breed. Now, whether they go there to lay eggs or whether they do live birth, who knows? But it's like where they go to breed, and then after they get done breeding, they go back out to the ocean. And then their offspring, if they give live birth, their offspring would be born out in the ocean. So that's why we don't see them. If they lay eggs, then they would be born there at the loch. And that might explain some of the sightings that happen at Loch Ness. And then when the things get big enough, they follow them back out. The next time they come in to breed, they follow them back out to the ocean, and that's where they live. You know, that's my theory on it. But I don't know for sure. But I know that there's been a ton of sightings out in the ocean there, and that's a whole new branch for that investigation of Loch Ness, and it really makes it even more feasible that these things still exist, because when you're talking about just living in the loch, now the Loch Ness is massive, it's not small, but when you're talking about just living in the loch, then you're okay, you need to have a breeding population. That's quite a number of animals. You're going to have to see them more often. You know what I mean? There's always that issue. But now that we know that they're in the ocean and that they make their way to the loch, and there's sightings in the loch and there's sightings in the ocean. So that's the only explanation that makes sense, is that they travel back and forth for whatever reason. And now that we know that, it makes it a lot more plausible that we're dealing with a real animal, because that would make a lot of sense. I mean, we see it in all kinds of animal populations. You know, salmon swim upstream way far in order to spawn and then die. And turtles, they swim massive distances to go to the beach that they hatch from. Could be all the way across the planet to get to that same beach that they hatch from to lay their eggs in the sand. And then those turtles, when they hatch, they all make their way down to the ocean. Most of them don't make it because the birds have figured this shit out. The birds are like, hey, it's turtle hatching day. Let's get down there and get some free lunch. And if you ever watched it, I've actually seen it. It's terrible to watch, because you got just thousands and thousands of these beautiful little baby turtles. And they're just, you know, doing their little flippers and trying to get down there to the water. And they're not very fast. And you see the birds come down and just taking them out, and all kinds of other predators in the area will come in and take their fill. And so most of them don't make it, which is sad. But I guess that's why they lay so many. But I'm always tempted to actually go and help move them. You know what I mean? They say you're not supposed to do that because you're not supposed to interfere with nature and all that jazz. But to me, it's like, dude, if I'm there, I'm scooping them up in my shirt. I'm grabbing handfuls of turtles and throwing them in the ocean. You know, run, be free. Fuck those birds. I don't like birds anyway. They shit all over my car and stuff. Fuck them birds. Grab them turtles, throw them in the ocean, man. Let them dudes live. They're awesome. You know what I mean? But that's what I think. I mean, I think that it's a breeding ground is what I would say probably.
They say that plesiosaurs, and you know what? I've never heard of them really attacking people. Even Champ, I heard there was one incident where it was crossing the road in Canada, and it just got scared, but it didn't try to kill. It just, and then it ran off. But I heard them eat animals, but I don't think it eats. I think it eats fish. Maybe that's what takes bites out of sharks, but I haven't ever heard them ever attack anybody. That's one thing I do, and I think they were, I know they eat a lot of fish. But they're not like maybe like tuna and stuff like that, and and whatever, catfish and whatever. Surgeons get big, really big, so they probably eat them. I don't think they really, to what I've heard, is they're harmless to us. They don't really come at us. The Kraken, whatever the hell that is, we're getting into the sea thing, is supposed to be a giant weird octopus, and or some people think it's just a weird monster, and that's something that used to knock boats out. And if you look at old maps, they have that creature, not just from the movie, from the Kraken. There really was supposed to be something like that. And then the what's that guy's name? God, he's a great writer. He has a whole H.P. Lovecraft, and the Cthulhu or whatever. That's supposed to be some giant creature. It's once it stands out of the ocean, it's like 3,000 meters in the air. It's huge. And I didn't think that was just nothing but a story, but they have like a sonar where it goes from one part of the world to the other, and it's a weird noise, and they don't know what it is. And then there's the bloop. It's just like this giant bloop, and there's supposed to be some weird creature in Antarctica that's called the bloop, and it makes this sound. Again, I want to do Antarctica because that's the real weird place, and that's the show we need to do soon. But I don't think Nessie's going to be an issue. If there really is a Nessie, they're more scared of us. They're huge, but you got to realize not every animal, just because look at giant blue whales. There's probably never been an attack. I know one actually grabbed somebody down and let them go, but they're not. They know who humans are. They're around humans. People don't realize whales know what humans are. They if they're in trouble, they'll come to people's boats and they'll get help. Like maybe they got a net on them or something, and you'll see them that people will help them. They know who we are, just like dolphins. Killer whales usually don't attack people unless they're in captivity. And that's where people, my opinion is I have my opinions on killer whales. You shouldn't be playing with stuff like this. It's not for people. I get it. SeaWorld made their money off it, but you see what happened. They made a documentary, killed that lady, it drowned her. These are mammals or animals. You got to realize these things are nothing. They're not pets, and that's just like you see people have pet lions and shit, and then they wonder why they get killed one day. And it was my great pet. One day they're gone because they got eaten, or the chimpanzee or monkey killed them. These things, you got to realize they're territorial. Something set them off. Sometimes they just go crazy, especially elephants. They're the most. They showed who would win a fight with all the animals. The elephants were going to win. They have testosterone that goes into their eyes, and they can snap. And you don't realize how big elephants are. Unless you got a tank, you ain't stopping that unless you shoot them. And you better have a big damn gun, because they don't just drop with a handgun. You better have a big bullet, because they are no joke. Their skin is hard. They go crazy. They remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you can feel the power of an elephant when you're on one. I've actually ridden an elephant, and when you get on that thing, because you're sitting on its neck is what you're doing. It's like neck and shoulders, but mainly it's on the base of its neck. And every step it takes, I mean, all the muscles rippling through that body, I mean, you can feel that power. And I'm telling you, I've been on a lot of animals. You know, I've ridden horses, I've ridden bulls, I've ridden elephants, I've done a lot with animals. And I'm telling you, I've never felt anything like an elephant underneath of you. It's not just their size, which is crazy big, but it's just the raw power inside that thing. You can feel it when you're sitting on it. You can feel those muscles tensed up and coiled up. And they're usually, now in my experience, and I don't have a ton of it, but in the little bit of experience that I've had with them, they're usually very kind and friendly and nice. I think most of the times when you have things happen with elephants, it's because the assholes that are training them are beating them with sticks and stuff. And, you know, I'm of the opinion people kind of get what they deserve sometimes, you know? I mean, there's no reason. I'm kind of torn on zoos and all that stuff, really, because, like, take SeaWorld, what you were just talking about. I don't like the idea of taking a beautiful whale, like a killer whale. It's a gorgeous animal in orca, and putting it in a swimming pool. I mean, that thing is very large, and it's used to covering hundreds of miles of territory a day. You know, swimming out free in the ocean, swimming all that distance. That's what it's designed to do. And you're going to put something that big inside of a swimming pool. That's like going down to the river and catching a bass or something and keeping it in your bathtub. It's fucked up. Why would you do that? I mean, it's not very cool at all. And they do it, I guess, so that they can make some cash because they know people will pay to come see it. But it just doesn't seem right to me. It just doesn't sit right, you know? I don't like zoos really at all. But at the same time, I love them because I love to see the animals, you know? But I'd just be just as happy watching them on video than going to see them at a zoo, because in a zoo, you take these creatures that are used to traveling and roaming and living free, and you pin them up in a little bitty enclosure. I don't like it, man. I just don't like the idea of it, you know. And I know some of them are born there, so it's all they've ever known. But people will say that as if that's an excuse, as if that makes it all better. You know, oh, well, don't worry about the fact that it lives in this tiny little shitty area, because it was born there, and that's all it's ever known. Okay, so all it's ever known is a little shitty area and misery of being cooped up with people gawking at it. That sucks, man. You know, I say leave them the hell alone. Send some of these amazing nature documentary people out, film these things in their natural habitat, doing their natural stuff, and we can all enjoy it and watch it on Discovery Channel or something like that, and just leave the damn animals alone, you know? And people are surprised to hear me say that sometimes, you know, because for most of my life I was a hunter and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I don't hunt anymore, not because I wouldn't. I mean, I don't eat meat anymore. I'm a vegetarian now. So there's no reason to go kill anything if I'm not going to eat it. You know what I mean? And just so everybody knows, the reason I'm a vegetarian is not because of, you know, I'm afraid the planet's going to die or some bullshit like that. And it's not because I feel sorry for the animals that are getting eaten. It's not that. My heart tried to kill me. My heart's an asshole. And I was just minding my business, doing my thing, living my life, having a good time. And my damn heart's like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. And it tried to kill me. And I went to the doctor, and I wasn't feeling right. You know, I just wasn't feeling good. And I went to the doctor. I go every 6 months, and I get a full workup, blood work, scans, everything, dude. And I was like, I'm just not feeling so good anymore, man. I don't feel right. And I went to the doctor and got the full workup and all that stuff done. And he's like, my God, James. He said, man, your numbers are horrible. You're heading for a widowmaker. I would say you might not survive a year. You know, you're going to die if you don't do something, because your numbers, I mean, are terrible. They wanted to put me on statins and all these drugs and all this stuff. And I told him I'm not going to take the drugs because there's a lot of bad side effects to all that kind of stuff. And I said, give me a year and let me make some changes to my diet and do a supplement program and all that kind of stuff. Let me research this and let me figure out what I need to do to make myself well. so I don't have a heart attack and die. If my numbers are still horrible when I come back at the end of that year, then we'll talk. Because you told me that I could have a heart attack within a year. So let's do a year and let's see what happens. And so I went home and I started doing some research. And within a day or two, I had decided that I was going to go vegan, like hardcore vegan, to try to get my numbers right and under control. So I did. I went vegan for a full year. And that was difficult because I'm a guy that for my entire life, I've eaten meat. I'm a hunter and a fisherman, and I've always loved meat. And I never liked vegetables. Like I would eat peas, carrots, and corn and potatoes, and that's about it. And on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'd eat sweet potatoes. If they had like the marshmallows and all the yummy shit on top, I'd eat that. But I didn't eat any other vegetables really. I was not a fan. And I thought this is not going to be easy, trying to do this. But I think that it's what I need to do in order to be here for my wife, and my family. I'm not afraid to die. I don't care. I've already died before. If you're a fan of the channel, if you've been here a while, you've heard this story. I'm not going to tell it again. But I did die before and came back. So I'm not afraid of dying. When it comes, it comes. I've got no issues. The only thing that worries me is not being here for my wife and my family and everything like that. So for them, I decided I was going to go vegan for a year. So I did. And at first, it was very difficult because, like I said, I'm used to cheeseburgers, cheese. Oh boy knows cheesesteaks. How many times have I talked about cheesesteaks? That's my favorite food in the world, is a nice Philly cheesesteak. Oh, I miss them. But I didn't eat any for a year. I went completely vegan. And I went back and I got my blood work done. And I'd gotten all my numbers back down out of the danger zone, most of them into the normal zone again. For like my LDL cholesterol was slightly over and my triglycerides were still slightly over. And triglycerides is basically the fat in your blood, and your LDL is what they call the bad cholesterol, but really it depends on the size of the LDL, because when it becomes oxidized and has problems, then it shrinks anyway, you don't care about all that shit. Basically, all my numbers except for 2 were back in normal zone. And those 2 were substantially lower. They were out of the danger zone and they were just above. Okay. So I thought, cool. So now I can start to incorporate a little bit of meat back in my diet. And because I'm out of danger now, right? That's what I was thinking. So I tried to go back to the way I used to eat. And one thing I noticed was I could eat it. I mean, I could eat meat now if I wanted to. It doesn't make me sick. It doesn't give me any kind of discomfort in the stomach or anything like that. But I just don't have the taste for it anymore, I mean, yes, when I'm eating it, it tastes good. Don't get me wrong. If I have like a barbecue sandwich or I have like a cheesesteak or something like that, it's delicious. But I find myself craving, like a bowl of fruit, blueberries and strawberries and plums and stuff like that, and craving lima beans. Man, I never thought I would say that I crave lima beans, but lima beans are fire, dude. If you don't know about limas, you're sleeping on limas. You should really wake the hell up and try them because they are good as hell. But that's the kind of food that I crave now. So at this point in my life, I don't really eat meat anymore. Every now and again, I will have some fish. But according to the doctors and according to science, I guess fish isn't meat, which when I started this journey didn't make no damn sense to me, because of course it's meat. Look at it. It looks like meat, right? Tastes like meat, feels like meat. It's meat. It's an animal. What do you mean it's not meat? But apparently fish doesn't do the same thing to your body that regular meat does. It's actually very beneficial for your body because you got a lot of the omega-3s and 6s, and it's really good for you. And it doesn't have any of those things that are bad. The only thing you got to watch with eating a lot of fish is mercury. And that's not because the fish are bad. It's because people are bad. We fucked up our rivers and our oceans by dumping a bunch of toxic shit in them all the time. And now all the fish have mercury, which sucks. But I will have fish every once in a while, but to this day, I'm mostly vegetarian. I guess the technical term for it is pescatarian, I guess is what they say, when you eat fish and you eat, a vegetarian diet. But I don't eat fish enough to really worry about it. Mostly what I eat is vegetable stuff. But once again, not because I think I'm better than anybody else, not because, oh, the poor animals, not because of global warming or any of that other horse shit you hear from the left. For me, it was a simple matter of my heart is an asshole and it's trying to kill me. And normally, if something tries to kill me, I kill it first. That's my rule. But I can't kill my heart first because then I die too. So I just have to accept the fact that my heart's an asshole and change my life a little bit. And I did, and I found a lot of foods that I never thought I would like before that I just love now. And that's kind of cool. And I know this has absolutely nothing to do with paranormal, but I don't give a shit. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying talking about it. And what I would like to do, if Old Boy is willing, he had a health issue as well. And he completely changed his diet. That's why he looks the way he looks now instead of the way he used to look. Because he used to be a lot heavier. But he had a bad health scare and he changed his diet substantially. So this is a great opportunity while I'm talking about it. If you would like to kind of talk about that a little bit, you're more than welcome to. If you don't want to, just say it's none of your fucking business and go back to talking about Nessie or something. It's up to you, boss man.
I started smoking cocaine, and after smoking cocaine, I lost a bunch of weight. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, 5 years ago, I was 296 pounds, 295, in between that area, and I never got that big in my life. I could tell I was really getting heavy. My face was very bloated. It was different than before. I've got heavy before, but I used to have thyroid issues, and then I got that controlled. Then I started gaining a bunch of weight, and I started being lazy and going to get burgers and fries and AM PM and Carl's Jr. every night and go. I was eating pretty well, but one day, something happened and I started having issues. I started not being able to breathe and my body was shutting down. So when I went to the doctors, oh yeah, by the way, you're diabetic. It was like 9 point something over 11. My sugar was like 350 or 360 something, 70. They're all, you're gonna take metformin. I'm like, no, I'm fucking not, because I know what metformin does. No, I'm not. Fuck you. So for about 4 months, I ate 1,200 calories, 1,300 calories maybe, and no sugar. I mean, there's sugar and stuff, but no like diet. I drink diet soda still. That's it. But I don't drink regular soda. I haven't had regular soda in 5 years. I haven't if I have like a little piece of a candy bar, but I don't eat candy. I don't eat a lot of cake, hardly ever. I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't eat a lot of greasy foods. I walk a lot. I weigh 230 now, 229. Actually, I got down to 219 when I got really sick, or actually I was like 215, but that was because I had appendicitis. Now they're saying it because I had appendicitis, and you guys don't realize you could have this for a year, and when your body's fighting infection, your sugar jumps off the roof, and that's what was going on. I was eating wrong, and I was and had an infection. So after that, and I remember when I went in the hospital, they were all, "Oh shit, your sugar's high." I'm like, "What is it, 100?" I'm like, that's not high at all. That's not even diet. Now they changed. It's like 140. Now you can have 5.9. Before it was like 4.9. You were on board. Now that's not. They changed it. People's bodies are different. Now mine's like a 3, 4. And I said, how did you do it? It's because I changed my whole life. Yeah, I'll eat stuff here and there, but it's in moderation. So I don't eat a lot of meat. Red meat especially. We eat a lot of chicken. I'll eat some fish. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll eat tuna and stuff like that. I eat some pork, but I don't eat a lot of junk. Like I don't eat a lot of candy. I don't eat a lot of sugar. I stay away from sugar a lot, and I hardly eat sugar. I'll eat some, like moderation, but nothing crazy. And greasy foods. I don't. And if we do cook stuff, it's always olive oil or virgin oil. There's another one, avocado oil. That's really good. Guys, try that. Don't eat canola oil is horrible. Sunflower oil is not good for you. What's the other one? The corn especially is never good for you. Never, don't even touch corn oil anymore. Some people do for tacos and stuff like that, but a lot of people use olive oil or canola oil. Canola is not good for you. Yeah, coconut oil is all right. I don't like the taste of it. I don't know. Coconut, it just has this weird bitter taste. I'm not a big fan of coconut anyway, and I don't like cooking with coconut oil. I don't like the taste of it. So we use most of the time it's olive oil. So that's how I eat, and I only eat certain foods. Like breakfast, yogurt, eggs, oatmeal with peanut butter. Lunch, it's either salads. I'll grab something at Del Taco, but it's chicken. Or I'll get a sub sandwich. It's good for you. And then dinner, whatever she makes. And it's usually either chicken or turkey. And sometimes it'll be shrimp or something. But other than that, no real meat. We don't eat, it's ground turkey or not a lot of pork. And I changed my whole life. If you guys see how I look now, and this is how crazy it is. Somebody saw me that hadn't seen me in 5 years. He's like, "What happened to that fat guy? He was a nice guy, but he was fat, man. But he was a nice guy. I liked him. I was me, man." He's all, "You don't even fucking look the same." You're like, "Yeah." I said, "I've lost like 70 pounds, and I have a beard now, and I'm just a different person. You look at me now, and you look at me before. I look like a whole different person." All together with the beard too, especially now, and the way I look like I'm a fucking biker. That's what a lot of people think. But that's what I did. I changed my diet. I don't eat a lot of meat, and I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't eat a lot of sweets. I drink diet soda sometimes, tea, and water. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing for 5 years. Not juice. Nothing. If I have alcohol, I'll mix it with diet soda. I'll have a couple beers, but that's it. Nothing crazy. That's just how I kept my weight off. I've been like this for 5 years. Yeah, I'll go 5 or 10 pounds here, and then I'll lose 5 or 10 pounds, but I kept it off. I'm never going to be a skinny dude. I mean, I could probably get buffed out. I don't want to do that, but I could. But I like how I am now. I look good. I feel all right. And that's how I did it. And I know this is a paranormal show, and but if you guys, we were talking a lot about paranormal. It was just getting into this conversation. We never really told you guys what happened and why people always, what the hell happened to old boy? He looks so damn different. James, you lost a bunch of weight too. Looks different too with the weight loss. That's just how it went, man. I had to change my life or I was going to die like James. I was going to be dead. I would have been dead 5 years ago. I would have died. Then I started losing a bunch of shit, laid weight. And James, you don't even look the same anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting too skinny. And old boy don't look right, too skinny. I look like skinny boy. Now I'm decent weight. I look good. My beard's good, and I wear glasses now. Have you ever seen? I had to squint like this. And I'd be looking at sitting, squinting, and looking. Fucking my eyes would be hurting now. If I put glasses on, I could see perfectly fine. And it doesn't bother me more. I could read shit now. It was something that had to happen. I was living a fucked up life. I was out drinking all the time. I was eating food. As soon as I get off, I'd run in and grab a sandwich and eat. I eat like, I ate like a fucking asshole, man. I didn't eat like Babe Ruth, where he'd have 2 or 3 steaks for dinner and a whole apple pie and 3 or 4 hot dogs for lunch and 6 or 7 dozen eggs. I've read about that. I don't know how the hell he fucking lived to 56. That's crazy. He lived a diet like that. But some people could do it, and I don't know how the hell he shit at night. But eating all that, 10-ounce steaks, a whole pie, apple pie, 2 of them, 4 hot dogs, a couple beers, a bunch of eggs and steak and ham. Fuck, that's a lot of food, dude. Like I don't get it. I don't know how anybody could do that, but some people can. There's the guy, I think I think it was like in the 1500s. He had his stomach was bigger than normal. He could never get hungry. Never get full, and he would eat and eat and eat. And he got to the point where he got in trouble because he was eating dead, like dead horses and dead. He actually broke in a morgue. He was put away, and he started eating there was they started eating dead bodies. They caught him, and because he was so hungry he couldn't stop. And they found out if he died, his stomach was bigger than normal. He could never get full. Got to that point. There's weird people out there, man. And this fat bastard was like one of the biggest people ever. I think it was like 800 or 900 pounds. So, and they were right. This is documented. And this guy would eat anything, and he would never get full. That's crazy. If your stomach, there's some people who are like the guy Chestnut. He got banned from eating hot dog competitions no more because he's too good, eating too many damn hot dogs. That motherfucker eats what 100 and something hot dogs in 10 minutes. I eat I could eat a lot of hot dogs when I was a kid, but not fucking 150. And not the way he does it. You ever see him? He just fucking gobbles them down. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I don't know how he can do it, man. But and there's some the Japanese guy does the same thing. They're gonna have a contest with each other who can eat the most. I don't know how these guys do it, but I was gonna do shrimp, and I will tell you this: at one time, I was gonna do the Guinness Book of Record of eating shrimp. I could probably eat about 600-700 shrimp at a sitting, but the mercury would have killed me, and I couldn't keep doing that. But when I would go to Red Lobster and had all-you-can-eat shrimp, they hated me because I'd eat about 40 plates and still was hungry. And I told them, I said, "You think I'm kidding?" They said, "We can't do anymore. You guys, you can't." It's not what it says. All you can eat is all you can fucking eat. And I want more. My wife didn't believe me. Well, my parents used to buy 3 or 4 pounds of shrimp for themselves and 3 or 4 or 5 for myself. I would eat all that shrimp and eat the rest of theirs. I wanted to be in the Guinness Book of Record. I literally could probably eat still if I really wanted to. That's why I got to be very careful, is because it's not good for you. It has a lot of, like you said, mercury, and it has a lot of calories in it. I could probably still eat 400 or 500 shrimp, like the cocktail shrimp, the big long ones. I could sit there all day and eat them, and it's not good. I love shrimp and I love lobster. I could probably eat lobster all day, and I just don't do it anymore. Literally, I ate shrimp like you ate cookies. That should tell you, and that's no joke. My wife didn't believe me, and then she saw me, and she's all, "Holy fuck!" And my daughter loves shrimp. She's all, and she saw me. She's like, "Holy fuck, you can eat a lot of shrimp." I just don't know why. I love shrimp, and it's like the best thing I've ever had, other than lobster. I think lobster is my favorite food. And people, how do you like the cockroach of the sea? It tastes damn good. I don't give a fuck. It's good to me. If you don't like it, it's more for me. I'll eat it. I like crab too. I don't know why. I like seafood. But I don't like fish. Tuna's all right, and salmon's all right to a point, but I just can't eat it, dude. Like, catfish sucks. Trout sucks. I hate all the bones in it. Sushi's all right. It matters what kind it is. It has to be tempura or something, or shrimp. But for some reason, I'm not a big fish fan. I'll eat it, but I'd rather eat fish sticks and stuff like that and tuna. But I don't really like fish. I don't know why. But crab and lobster, I love it. Scallops, I love it. I could eat all day. Except clams are good. I just don't like I hate sardines. Oh God. Ugh. There's another one. Smoked oysters.
Let me give you a tip from an old redneck with catfish. If you don't know how to clean a catfish proper, when you're filleting it, you're gonna hate catfish. The problem most people have with catfish is they say it tastes like mud, tastes like dirt. The reason that is when you're filleting a catfish and you're cutting off those side fillets, there's a bit of meat that has a red streak that goes down the bottom of there. You got to cut that out. Most people leave it on because it looks like it's part of the fillet. But if you cut that red streak out, that blood in the meat there, that's what's making it taste dirty and muddy. So once you cut that out, man, catfish is one of the best cuts of fish you'll ever have. It's delicious. But if you don't cut it out, like if you just buy it out to eat somewhere, you get like fried catfish or something from like Cracker Barrel or someplace like that, most likely they haven't cut that out, because that's something that the old river guys know. That's not something that most people in restaurants do. So when you eat a catfish at a restaurant, usually it still has that in it, and it has a muddy, dirty kind of, it tastes like the bottom of a river. And the reason for that is because they haven't cut that red streak out of the meat. So that's for you and for everybody watching. If you want to enjoy catfish, trust me, catfish is absolutely amazing if you do it properly. But you got to cut that out. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that people don't know about because they don't do it themselves. Does that make sense? Like with deer, if you're eating deer, I've eaten hundreds of deer in my life. I've eaten a lot of venison. With deer, there's something called silverfish or silver skin. It's called both things. That's on the meat. It's like a slimy, white, silvery kind of fat, right? But it's kind of stuck like saran wrap to the meat. And if you take your time when you process a deer and you cut all of that out, then venison is going to be one of the best foods you can ever eat. It's super healthy for you, and it is absolutely delicious. But if you don't cut it all out, then your deer meat's going to be gamey as all hell. And so people that don't like deer meat probably had deer from somebody who didn't know how to process it, or they took it someplace and got it processed instead of cutting it up themselves. And when you take it to a butcher shop, or down here we got places that's all they do. It's just processed deer. So in hunting season, you'll show up with your deer and give it to them, and they'll put a tag on it, and they'll throw it on a pile with like 50 other deer, and then they get to it when they get to it. And you can get all your cuts. You can get your fish out of there. You can get your steaks. You can get your burger, your roast, all that stuff made up from your deer. But the problem is they're not taking the time to cut all of that silver skin off. So that's going to give it that really, really gamey flavor. And so there's little tricks like that with each animal. I won't go through them all because who gives a shit, right? But there's little tricks like that with each animal that if you know how to process it properly and prepare it properly, wild meat is some of the best stuff you'll ever eat. It's so much better than what you get in the supermarket, you know? And I want to touch really quickly on what you were talking about sugar, about how you don't eat sugar and everything. That right there is a key, and that's so important for everybody watching. Sugar is probably the very worst thing you can put in your body, food-wise, because sugar not only does it make you fat, not only does it rot your teeth, not only does it cause diabetes and all that kind of stuff by raising your insulin level, causes insulin resistance, which makes you metabolically not healthy, which gives you a ton of other diseases. Not only all that, but sugar is rocket fuel for cancer. Okay, cancer cells thrive in a high glucose environment, a high sugar environment. So if you're eating a ton of sugar, or a lot of processed foods will have like corn syrup, which is like super sugar, you know what I mean, as far as the glycemic index goes. So if you do one thing, say you don't want to stop eating meat, right? Say you don't want to do that. You want to still be able to have burgers. You still want to be able to have steak and all that kind of stuff. If you do just the one thing of cutting sugar out of your diet, you will be amazed at the difference in your health. In your weight, you will drop tons of weight, and effortlessly too. You'll drop weight quick and easy without having to do much of anything. You won't be hungry because you can eat good food as much as you want. But you cut that sugar out, and it's going to make a big, big difference. But you're also going to have a big difference in the way you feel. And you're going to live a lot longer. Okay, now say you're somebody who's already in bad shape. You eat a lot of fast food, you eat a lot of sugar, all that kind of stuff. One thing you can do to really make a big difference is fasting. Okay, now I'm not talking about intermittent fasting, which a lot of people talk about, where you go either 8 hours or 12 hours or 16 hours without eating. I'm talking about a long-term kind of fast where you're going days. Okay, you don't want to do this all the time. you want to do this every once in a while. But if you do, like, say, a 72-hour fast, that's 3 days. At that point, your body, not only has your glucose level gone way down, your ketones have gone way up, okay? And your body has entered aphoxia, where it's actively seeking out a lot of defects and bad things in your body and breaking them down and using them for fuel. So you're cleaning up your system, you're detoxing your system. And one great benefit of your blood not having all that glucose in it, because you're fasting, you're not taking in anything other than water. So one great thing about that is your glucose level goes way, way down. And your body, your cells are no longer in a glucose rich environment. So what happens is you begin to actually starve the cancer cells, because they need a lot of sugar, a lot of glucose in order to thrive and to replicate and to grow. So one way to make sure that you remain cancer free, or at least a better chance of remaining cancer free, is to do, I try to do like a monthly fast, where I do 3 or 4 days a month. You know what I mean? Like every month or every other month, depending. Sometimes I don't do it every month. Sometimes I do it every other month. I will do like a 72-hour fast. Sometimes I take it a little bit longer if I'm not hungry yet and I don't want to eat. And what that does is it cleans out your system, and it cleans a lot of that junk out. And it really does a lot to help with insulin resistance, which most people probably don't even know what that is, but it's one of the leading causes of most metabolic disorders, to where you're metabolically unhealthy. And when you're metabolically unhealthy, that leads to tons of disease, and it's bad news. You don't want that. So that's one way that you can do it. Now, doing intermittent fasting, you can do that every day. What that is, basically, you want to give yourself a window of time that you eat in, whether it's 8 hours or 12 hours that you eat. And outside of that window of time, you don't eat. So the way that breaks down is, for some people, they'll fast for 12 hours, they'll eat for 12 hours. And you're not eating straight for 12 hours. That just means that within that 12-hour, that second 12-hour window, you're allowed to eat whenever you want. A lot of people that get better results do it 8 and 16. So they'll have an 8-hour window where they can eat, and then they'll have a 16-hour window where they don't eat. You know, that's more around where I am usually. Not because I'm trying to do any kind of intermittent fasting, just because that's my natural kind of cycle. I don't eat a lot. I eat a couple times a day, and that's it. And I go a long time without eating, you know. I didn't used to, but once I started doing the multiple day fasts, I just kind of realized that I don't have to eat all the time. And my body doesn't really get all that hungry, you know. So I'll eat whenever I feel like eating. And usually it's at least 16 hours from when I go to bed before I eat again, you know. And it's not even from when I go to bed, because I won't eat in the evening a lot of times. So there'll be a 16-hour window from the last time I ate to the next time I ate, you know, pretty much every day. And then it'll be that 8-hour window where I'll eat a couple times. But I don't know. It's all whatever you want to do. Everybody always says consult your doctor, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, because they don't want to get sued, you know. So what I'll tell you is, I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm just telling you what I have learned and what I do myself and what has worked for me. You can do whatever you want, you know. I'm not up here trying to convert you to be a vegetarian. I'm not trying to convert you to doing this, out of the other thing. But I can tell you that sugar is poison, pretty much, for you, for your system. And if you give that up, you're going to be doing a hell of a lot better. You know, and that's what I want for every one of you, really, is for you to be feeling better and doing better and to be happier, you know. So I think we're pretty far along in this journey here. We we've been going for well over an hour. So I'm gonna throw over to Old Boy and let him do his final sum up and shout outs and all that jazz, and then we'll wrap this puppy up. So Old Boy, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for listening. Most of this was about our investigation and went into crypto and animals and fasting and stuff like that. But you know what? There's science to it, so it all links into one. I hope you guys enjoyed us on Parax Radio every Sunday nights at 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific. The Best of Show Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. If you guys want merchandise, James will tell you where to go. I think it's teespring.com. Shirts, hats, beanies, all kinds of cool things. Listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, Cloud, all kinds of Facebook, everywhere. TikTok, you can see some of our stuff on TikTok also. I've been doing a lot of stuff on there, and so as James has. You guys want to subscribe, you go to James Hershey's YouTube page and subscribe, because it's James Hershey's YouTube page, not staring. We just kept it that way. We've always done that, so that's why I think people get confused where to go. I have business cards, so I've given a lot out. That being said, guys, it's the first day of summer tomorrow, or technically today. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'll be 46 years old. Happy birthday to me. Happy summer solstice. Misfits, Sugarlays, Monster Lovers, and Demon Hunters, I love you and have a good night. And have blessed be, motherfuckers.
Hell, man, you'd think that it's been summer for a long time, as hot as it's been. Shit, it's been hotter than Hades here, man. And the problem with here in Virginia is it's humid as all hell here. So when it's hot, dude, it's been 96, 98 degrees every day for like 4 or 5 days. And it's supposed to keep going for another 5 days. And when it's that hot here, it's like abysmal, man. It sucks because that humidity just weighs down on you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I like doing it this way better than having like one topic that we do the whole show on. And because I like the conversation better. I like just kind of hanging out and doing the show. You know, it's cool to have a topic that we start off talking about and try to talk about that, but hell, wherever it goes, it goes. That's the way I look at it. I don't really care. I mean, shit, man, we've been doing this for like 7, 8 years now. You know what I mean? We've talked about every damn thing there is to talk about pretty much. You know, the only show we haven't really done that comes to mind that's a big one is Antarctica. But see, Antarctica is one of those deals, man. There's some cool stuff we can talk about, but it's not as mysterious as everybody thinks it is. Everybody always says Antarctica is so mysterious. What's there? We don't know what's there. Of course we know what's there. You can go there. Like, you can go online and get a job working in Antarctica at one of the research places. It's not like you can't go there. Of course you can go there. Shit, there's a race they have every year where they take boats all the way around. It's a race around Antarctica. You know, so it's not like it's some mysterious place that nobody's ever been. I mean, there's some really cool stories from there about, you know, about the Nazis possibly doing a base there, about an entrance to the Hollow Earth there, alien bases there. There's all kinds of interesting stuff we can talk about when it comes to Antarctica. Maybe we'll do that next week after. Who knows? We'll do it eventually, because I know Old Boy really wants to do that show, so we'll get her done. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. The merchandise store, the easiest way to get to that, honestly, is just go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. Click on pretty much any video, and go down to the description box. And in that description box, I put the link to the store. It used to be teespring.com/staring into the abyss. That's what it used to be. But then Teespring changed all the URLs. And instead of just being the name, which was easy, it's a bunch of freaking numbers and all kinds of nonsense. And who the hell wants to try to memorize that crap, right? So just go to the description box and you can find the link down there, and you can click on it if you want merch. We're not really making money off that, to be honest. I mean, I price stuff pretty much just over what it cost us to make it. So each item we might make less than $1 on, you know, simply because you have to round it to like the nearest dollar. So if, say, it cost $10.56 or something to make it, then I charge $11 because it's the next amount that I'm allowed to charge. I can't charge 10 because that's under it, and they won't let you do that shit. They won't let you charge less than it costs to make it. But I don't really mark the prices up. I don't care whether you buy merch or not. That's on you, man. The reason we did the merch shop is because we had people asking for it. So we try to give you all what you want. So if you want merch and you want to rep Staring or Tails or soon We're Screwed, then by all means, that's where you can find it. Enjoy it. But I'm not out here trying to push it on you because we're not making anything off of it. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Let us know down in the comments section what you think. Let us know some things about your diet. You know, that's kind of what we ended up talking about at the end of the show is diet and health and all that kind of stuff. Let us know what you eat and what you think, you know. One thing I'll tell you is I can't stand those people that always try to push stuff on you. They try to, you know, you get that with vegans a lot where they're always trying to push being a vegan on you. You get it now with meat eaters too because they got the carnivore diet. That those people are always trying to push that shit on you, saying that you can eat as much steak and all that stuff as you want, and the cholesterol doesn't matter, and it won't bother you and all that shit. I don't know. I know that that's not what my doctor says. You know what I mean? I know my doctor freaked the fuck out when he saw my numbers. So, I don't know, man. I do know that I've watched a lot of those carnivore videos, and I've seen them show little snippets of a study and claim that it says something. And then I'm a nerd. So I will go read the study because I also was a scientist. So I can understand the study. So I will go and actually read the study. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. That's not what that says. You know what I mean? Like just one, for example, they said that the American Heart Association says now that dietary cholesterol has no impact on your heart health or anything. It doesn't cause heart attacks, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, that's pretty amazing if that's true. Let me go actually look at that and see what that is. Well, all they're saying is that dietary cholesterol, that's the cholesterol you're eating. Like, say you buy something at the grocery store and you look at the little label and it says cholesterol so many milligrams or whatever, or micrograms or millimoles or however, different labels say different things. But anyway, it'll say so much of cholesterol. All they're saying is that isn't a major driving contributor to heart disease, because heart disease has like 25, 30 different contributors. You know, they're not saying that having sky high cholesterol is okay. You know, that's not what they're saying. So you got to take all of these diets and all of this health YouTube stuff with a grain of salt. Always consult your doctor. Always look into it and figure out, because most of these people are lying. Most of these people are full of shit. And I don't think a lot of them are intentionally full of shit. I think they heard the same thing from somebody else and they believed it and they're doing it and they feel okay. So they're like, well, I feel okay. And they say that it's fine. But with something like super high cholesterol and something, you got to be careful, man. You don't want to just take the word of some damn YouTuber. You know, definitely get with your doctor and figure out what the truth is and what's going to be right for you. Now, whatever diet that is what it is. There's a lot of good ones out there. You know, the Mediterranean diet is an amazing diet as well. You know, there's a lot of them out there that will be healthy for you and you can enjoy. You don't have to do this one, that, or the other one. You know what I mean? It's not a freaking cult. And that's what a lot of these people make it out to be, and that sucks. You know, you see that all the time, whether it's vegans or carnivore or the keto people, or it's like they're in a damn cult and they got to get new recruits and they got to convert you. You know, and I don't care what you eat, dude. Eat whatever you want. Just be careful. You know, be healthy. Anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We will catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.